Ooh, you got blessed. Ooh, 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 you got blessed. Ooh, 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 you got blessed. We're gonna have fun today. Uh, uh, I'm in a mood, okay? Please, you could, if I'm annoying you, but I can't help myself. Good morning, this is Lotta and I just wanted to say hello. I wanted to do a video today on some antique quilts that I found on my birthday. Oh, I just love them. I always get to go to this antique store and I get the blessing of finding antique quilts. One year I found a beautiful pink one and a beautiful red one, red and white quilt. It was beautiful. I still have them. I still haven't quilted them. No judgments though. Here. And so this is an antique quilt that I found on one of my birthdays. I tend to find them on my birthday. I feel like they're like Holy Spirit kisses where God just on my birthday because he gives me something that I would really treasure. This is a handmade quilt and it was rounded, and I'll tell you why I trim off the rounded part. The reason I trim off the rounded part is because I don't know how to do that kind of binding. I need to teach myself. The blocks, these blocks are hand piece, but I think someone else came in and sewed these other pieces. So someone must have found all these blocks that were hand piece, and then someone came in and sewed it. It could have been the same person. It could have been like maybe their grandmother was hand piecing these and they found the bundle of them, and then another family member came back and sewed these. Some of these are machine sewn, like this is machine sewn, but then all of these are hand pieced. So maybe someone came back and saw that some pieces were opening and they machine sewed some areas, or some blocks were sewn together and some blocks were not, and someone else came in. You could see the variety. Like these are machine sewn, and then this one is hand sewn. And I want to show you the beautifulness of hand sewing. Hand sewing has like a beautiful rhythm or feature that you could see. The hand sewing has like this beautiful rippling effect. And even in the front, when you see that, you know that it's hand sewn. But a sewing machine, when it's sewed from a sewing machine, you don't have any of that rippling as you see here in comparison to the hand piecing that you see here. So it's called Feathers and Swirl Panto. I think it's really pretty. Ironing is your best friend. As flat as you can get the quilt is to your blessing or benefit, because I even talked to a long armer the other day and she didn't even know that she could iron a client's quilt. So yes, iron your client's quilt, flatten them out. Like I need to flatten this area. Look at any area that is kind of, I don't know if you can see puddling or lifting. Like right now it's nice and flat and I see it, so I could walk away and go do something else while it's long arming. As you can see, I still haven't marked this thing. I had time. I really am trying to manage myself better when it comes to clients, my own creativity, and my personal life, and I'm still struggling. I feel like I'm always catching up. I don't know about you, but I feel like all right, I finished laundry. Okay, I cleaned the house. Okay, I finished 4 of my clients' quilts. Okay, I kind of set up something for myself. Okay, I have to babysit. I don't know. What mom does not feel like she is not trying just constantly to catch up? Constantly. So, but one of the blessings in kind of trying to manage myself better, I got to finish this beautiful darling. Can you wash antique quilts? The answer is yes. After you've quilted them and bound them, wash them. And I ended up washing this one twice, where when I washed it, the fabric was so kind of brittle. The fabric was dry. And so you could see here the quilting. And I really did a beautiful, heavily dense quilting on it. You see that beautiful texture of this quilt. So you can see it all in her divine, wonderful glory. She took, because of the intense quilting, each row of quilting took about an hour to quilt. The binding didn't take me that long, and here's my binding so y'all can check it out. I used to hate hand binding, and I ended up buying a thimble, or even a tailor's thimble, and I paid a lot of money for it, and so I'm forcing myself to enter into the skill of hand binding, but I'm not as good as I should be yet. I love this thing. And I'm sure my kids are gonna try to take this one. No, they already took one of them. I did a blue one with applique, and that thing was beautiful. My daughter took it, but this one, you're gonna have to fight me for it because I love it so much. Look at the treasures I found on my birthday. I'm so happy. All right, quilt number 2. This one I found at my original antique store that I found the other one, and usually where I find most of my quilts. But this is called, I believe this is a farmhouse quilt, and it's hand pieced. I try to take the best, cleanest looking quilts I could find because I just want to quilt them and bind them and give them away, or if my kids want them, but mainly giving them away to random strangers. And this quilt, this row is backwards. I don't know if you can see. So I'm gonna have to take that apart, which is not a big deal, and re-sew it. Most of this quilt, if you look at it, it's all hand pieced. But when I take it apart, I may even leave that row, this row that's backwards. I may leave it that way and just quilt it. Would that be weird? Usually I do not put borders or anything like that on these quilts. Usually I just quilt them and allow the binding to be a border. I try not to add anything else to the quilt other than batting, back fabric, and quilting. And so you can see that this row back here is backwards. If that were me, I'd probably stop doing it because I get frustrated. I paid $59 for this hand piece quilt, and the other one I paid $100, so $59. It's not so thin. You could see through the green, but like the pink, and you could see through it, but not, I've seen worse. But isn't it lovely? So this is the quilt that I found from the lady that I normally find these little treasures. This is where I found the 1-inch squares. This vendor, I guess she realizes that I'm looking for these quilts. So this vendor really likes bringing up the prices. I was so excited when I saw this one because this is kind of some of the antique quilts that I look for. I don't know what pattern this is called. To me, this kind of reminds me a bit of the teacup quilts, but I don't know. I paid $69.50 for it. It is hand pieced. But this person opened her seams, which I hate to do, but I know for this pattern, it helps a lot. There's no holes in it, and even though it has an open seam and you can kind of see the light going through there, I think it's a good. Some of the points are off, but who cares? I just think this thing is lovely. So here's the and you can see this fabric has a bit of a texture, and there's very slight staining. Look how light the staining is. Once I wash it, you're not going to notice it. Now, I purchased that quilt, or this quilt, at the regular place where I always get my antique quilts. So I got that one and this one. I know, don't leave yet. The next quilts that are coming, ooh, they're delicious. Quilt number 3 is this beautiful blue bonnet hand applique quilt. It's bright yellow. I paid $35 for her. And I believe there was 20% off anything you purchase on the property. There's no stains at all on this quilt. It does have a bit of little tiny holes, which I could put in stabilizer on there or hand stitch it. One hole here. I don't know if you can see this hole right there, and that's it. The rest is beautifully hand appliqued. She's so sweet, just beautiful. And then I think this, just to quilt this for a little girl, those stitches, look at the stitching. But look how clean, well done this quilt is. Okay, so let me show you this one. This is a quilt that I found at a different antique store. She does have some stains. She has a tiny tear here, which you will not even notice. So you can see it's hand pieced. If you see that texture, she does have staining. But look how beautiful. Like, oh my God, look at the border. I want to do a book like that now. It's tone on tone, but I think with different type of quilting, it could be like bazang. So I really just paid $30 for her. Oh my God! Can you imagine how beautiful, if this is quilted, what the quilting would look like? Oh my God. This thing would be gorgeous. This is what made me do some Jesus dancing, Jesus prancing, Jesus hallelujah, speaking in tongues, acting crazy in the store. Okay, I walk around sometimes and I'm like, Jesus, please help me find the blessings. Help me see where the blessings are. Help me see where the treasures are. Open up my eyes so I can find these wonderful treasures. There was a bundle of fabric and I went ahead and moved the fabric and I found this beautiful bright yellow, you can even see it in my face, bright yellow star quilt. Oh my God, this thing, this is to me like that 1-inch square quilt. I'm keeping this one. So let me show you this quilt. Look at this. She's handmade. She is so pretty. I got so excited. I paid $70 minus 20% off, so take off $14. So I paid $56 for her. It has a variety of beautiful different tones of yellow. She's really well made. There's a stain here that you can barely see. Look how beautiful this lady's work is. And this is what I am so intrigued about. I've never seen a center as flat as this beautiful quilt. Look at that. Is that hand piece? I think it's hand piece. Let me see. Yeah, look at that. But it's beautiful. This hand piecer, she had her placement. Like, her stitches are beautiful and perfect. You can tell it's hand piece by this wonderful waving. But look at this quilt. Look at this quilt. Isn't she beautiful? Look, she's getting old like me. Look, she's getting little right here. Go inside. You don't have to be out here with me. Say hi to the world, Cookie. Say hi. You should have seen where I found it. I would have never found it if I didn't dig in there and get dirt and get on my knees. I really got on my knees and dug into that area to find it. And now I am so excited just to have it. I may just hang it back here without it being quilted because it's so pretty. All right, I really love you in the Lord, and I'll talk to you later. Really ask God to show you, to give it to you, to open the eyes of my heart, Lord. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.